Mass versus weight. Students routinely mess up mass and weight. Mass means the number of particles that make up an object. So we're going to pretend here for a moment that we're looking at something I haven't used in months, my school keys. And we're going to count each of these items, and we're going to pretend each item is a particle. So this Bronco would be one particle. The ring that the keys are on is particle number 2. Each of the keys would be considered to be a particle: particle 3, particle 4, particle 5, 6, 7, and 8. So if we were to talk about all of these, we would say that this object has 8 particles. If I were to take this set of key ring and I were to take it with me and I went to the moon, if I were on the moon and I counted how many particles there would still be 8 particles. If I took this particle with me to Mars and I counted, if I took the key ring with me to Mars and I counted how many particles there would be 8 particles. The number of particles never changes. Every object is made up of a certain amount of particles, and that is called its mass. Masses are measured in kilograms. When I go to the doctor, they mess me up now because they measure my mass in kilograms, and I have no idea how many particles I'm made out of anymore. Okay? Now, if I take this same set of keys and I were to put it on a scale here in the United States on Earth, and I were to weigh how much those keys were, they might weigh 3 newtons. Now, if I were to take this same set of keys and go into outer space, they would be considered weightless. And the reason is because there's no gravity in outer space. So the weight of this set of keys in outer space would be 0. On Earth, it would be 3 newtons, for example. If I take this to the moon, the amount of weight changes there as well. And the reason it changes there is because Earth makes a great big dent because of its mass in outer space. The moon, as you know, has much less mass than the Earth, and so our moon creates just a tiny little dent. And so the amount of acceleration going into Earth's dent is 9.8 meters per second squared. The amount of acceleration going into the moon's dent is about 2.2 or 2.3, something like that. And so this thing would have a much lighter weight if it were on the moon. So weight changes depending on the location where you're at and the amount of gravity that there is. Mass never changes. If there are 8 particles, there are going to be 8 particles everywhere.